Pete Carroll, head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, comes out, Rob, has a press conference with his general manager, John Schneider, and they both say they just sing the praises of Russell Wilson. And Pete Carroll actually said the organization and Wilson are in a quote-unquote fantastic place. Here he is.
Right now, he is as jacked up as he's ever been. He's in the process of turning over our new offensive stuff that is different from the past and things that we need to learn. He's totally after it, doing a great job. His mentality is strong and his conditioning is right. He's doing a great job. Russ has been our quarterback for a good while, and we've got a long contract with him. And when all of the conversation went about trades and all that, I knew what the truth was. We weren't trading Russell. So we plan on him being here for a good while. I don't know how many years it is now, but we're in great shape and a long future ahead of us.
Can I start this, Rob?
Yeah, you can, yes.
Pete Carroll, I bet you're in a fantastic place. You darn skippy you are. You darn right that you weren't thinking about trading Russell Wilson. Pete Carroll, you're not stupid. You know your record. You know you coached 6 NFL seasons with 3 different teams, the Jets, the Patriots, the Seahawks, before you got hold of Russell Wilson, and you only had 2 winning seasons in those 6 years. And you know that ever since you got with Russell Wilson, you have been a top NFL coach. You went from the bottom, you started at the bottom, now you're here. If you can see my hand, it's up high. Because you went to 2 Super Bowls, won 1, 9 years with Russell Wilson, 8 years in the playoffs, 9 winning seasons. I bet you're in a fantastic place. This is the smart thing to do for Pete Carroll. It would have been ridiculous to even think for a moment about trading Russell Wilson, Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame quarterback. I'd have fired Pete Carroll before I traded Russell Wilson. So this is a smart move by Pete Carroll. Understand where your bread is buttered.
Pete Carroll sounded like a former president who said that the pandemic would be over in a month or 2. That's what he sounded like to me. Like, I'm not buying that everything's as rosy as he makes it out to be. And a guy doesn't go out on Front Street doing what Russell Wilson did for everything to just be great, and especially since nothing really changed or happened since then. So I don't know how it could be that easily fixed, holding hands and singing Kumbaya. I mean, I get it. I think it has more to do with they probably have their hands tied. There's not much they really can do, even if they wanted to. And the other part is, if you're going to make a change, you got to be able to replace him. And maybe they don't just realize that they don't have anybody to make that happen. But I've just always been of the belief if guys don't want to be there, that I would look to move somebody. I just don't care who it is. I really don't, because either you're in or you're out. And I still believe in that. And unless Russell changed his tune and went there and said, hey, I'm all the way in and whatever you guys want, yeah, okay. I was a bad boy and I shot off my mouth and I didn't mean it.
What, he going in there in his hands and knees?
Yeah, I mean, basically. And
really?
he had his hat in his hands, yes, Miss Daisy, like help, like.
I think Pete Carroll had his hat in his hand.
Yes, Big Daddy.
Let me ask you this, Robert. Where did you get that philosophy of if you're not in, you're not out? Like, if you want out, then we're trading. Where'd you get that from?
You know where I got it from. This is so you could spin it.
I'm just wondering. No,
Pat Riley said it.
Pat Riley in New York?
When he was with the Knicks.
How many championships did he win with the Knicks? Oh, I'm just asking. How many championships did he win with the Knicks?
They got to the NBA Finals. They got to the NBA Finals.
I'm trying to remember.
They got to the NBA Finals and they lost in 7 games.
How many championships did he win with the Knicks?
They didn't win any championships, but it does.
Okay.
But Pat Riley was right.
Pat Riley can go and stuff it. All right.
I told my wife the same exact thing. Either you're in or you're out, and she chose out. But still, I got my point across.
Rob, you know I'm right. You know Pete Carroll knows what he's doing. I think this is why things are better. I think they heard loud and clear what Russell Wilson said, and they told him, look, we get it. We wish you hadn't gone public. You know, we like to handle things inside. You didn't have to go public. You could have come and told us. Now, the reports, though, were that he did talk with them, Rob, and he didn't like the response he got, and then he went public. But I'm sure they were like, look, we are going to prioritize protecting you. They got a new offensive coordinator, and Carroll also said today that they're working on some new stuff that they haven't done in the past.
They work on
Russell's
new stuff every
that.
year. Come on, man. You really think they're going to flip the script just because he was belly aching and they're going to change everything?
Not everything,
they change
but
stuff
I think
all
they're
the
going to
time.
change a few things.
Yeah,
I think they're going to cater to him a little more, do what he wants to, let him cook. Things were going well when they were cooking, when he was cooking, Rob.
No, they weren't. They started to burn the food. Everything was a mess. Remember that?
He was a runaway MVP leader.
And then he started getting sloppy with the boy, had a ton of turnovers. Chris, go back and look at the numbers.
It was a few games, but I'm saying that, but that's the thing. You can't panic after a few games. What if the Buccaneers had panicked? What if Bruce Arians had panicked? Remember when they were struggling midway through the season? What if Arians had panicked?
Well, they had no
he's
choice.
Old. Tom Brady's old. He can't do it anymore. No, you have to understand the process. And so Russ cooking, when you cook, you're gonna burn a few things. That's just the nature of cooking. But at the end of the day, if you got a good chef, let him cook. And I think they're gonna let Russ cook, Rob.
We'll see. Because I don't think that it worked out nearly as much, and they had to rein him in. Because if you look at the end of the year, Chris, from where he started to the second half, it got worse. I mean, he became a turnover machine. They struggled. They lost in the playoff game, right?
To the Rams. Right.
And he really couldn't get much going. If you remember how he didn't play that well. But it is what it is. And unless you have an alternative, it is hard to make a move or do anything. So I understand. But for him to come out and just be nicey nice and think everything's great, I'm not buying it. I just don't feel like everything's got smoothed out and they're great now and they're ready to take on the world and win a Super Bowl and all that. I think it sounds nice. You kind of deflect it and try to move forward because you had an ugly offseason. I get it.
So do you believe them when they say they never entertained, trade talks?
No, I don't. I just think that they probably had to look into it. They didn't know for sure how mad he was, Chris, or whether or not they were going to really be able to get him back. So I think you have to do your due diligence. I'm not saying that they were picking up the phone, but I'm sure they answered the phone when people called. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that's just
agree.
due diligence.
You always listen, but
you don't have to pick up the phone. Right.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem. I mean, look, if I'm running the Lakers and somebody calls about LeBron James, I'm listening. Doesn't mean I'm doing anything, right?
Right. You wouldn't hang up the phone.
You want LeBron? Okay, what you offering? I'll just listen.
The Nets just offered Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. If you're the Lakers, hello,
right.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Okay, yes.
Am I right?
As much as we love LeBron James, we'll take that.
We'll take that. That's what I'm saying, right?